Hello and welcome to episode 24 of the Keep Tappin X podcast. It is June 23rd, 2017.
Rude.
Tonight is is a special episode. We're gonna have a special Pokemon themed episode.
Yeah.
Everything Pokemon and talk about Pokemon in our lives and
with all my Pokemon Go related questions.
Yeah, all Pokemon. And for it, we have our residential Pokemon Master here. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Taylor.
Oh, thanks for introducing me. Yes, I am Taylor, and I know things about Pokémon and stuff.
A lot of things.
A lot of things.
A
lot more than I should at my age, but that's okay.
I mean, you played more Pokemon than pretty much like anybody.
I have 1,500 hours between Sun and Moon alone.
Oh
Just Sun and Moon?
Just Sun and Moon?
Just Sun and Moon.
Holy crap.
Jeez.
Alright, cool.
How much time do you think you have between every Pokemon game that exists?
Oh, God. More than your WoW time, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's saying something. That's saying a lot.
Alright, yeah. So, we're just going to do things a little differently. No news or anything today. We're just going to talk all about Pokemon.
Yep.
Just ask Pokemon questions and just chat about Pokemon for an hour and a half or so. So,
yeah.
How's everyone doing before we talk about Pokemans?
I'm a little tired, but not bad.
Yeah?
A little hungry.
Oh, tired, hungry, and...
I'd also like some food.
And hungry.
Please feed me, Kobe.
How about you, Kobe?
I'm dying.
I'm dope.
Dope? All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty dope.
Toros meat or something.
Feed me Tauros meat.
Let's just go right into fucking Pokemon, man. Not fucking Pokemon.
Whoa.
That's later.
Even I said no to that.
That's around the hour mark. Around the 34-minute mark.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Hey.
All right.
was
So,
terrible.
let's start with just right out there. Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Pokemon? Blake.
Charizard.
Wait, favorite Pokemon?
Charizard?
Lame.
Favorite Pokemon or Pokemon game?
What? No, Pokemon. Pokemon. Like, the individual Pokemon.
Oh.
We'll go into the games later.
Yeah.
Why Charizard?
Because I like Charizard.
Was
It was like the OG, you know?
He is. He was the OG.
I really hate the Gen 1er, quote unquote, mentality. But
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
love Charizard.
Yeah. And what about these Mega Forms?
Eh.
I hate how one form is so much cooler than the other.
Oh yeah, the one that's
that's
literally
so-
like a streamlined
Yeah,
Charizard.
X.
Yeah.
No, that Y is just like a Charizard with pointy things, but
Right. And
Mega
X-
Charizard X is like
And he
super
brings
cool
the
dragon
sun
one with,
for us to praise.
yeah, drought.
X always looked kind of like too cartoony
Yeah.
for me, like how he has like little smoke coming
Yeah.
out and stuff. I
that's
didn't really
true.
like him.
I mean, I thought it was cool because blue flames and black dragon.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool and all, but
Why is this lame?
I don't like using Mega Charizard X as much as I like Y,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Well,
He's just more fun.
what about you, Dave? What's your favorite Pokemon?
That's hard to choose because I have so many that I love. Like Snorlax is like
Oh,
is like my dude.
Snorlax
But I
is
also
my man.
I also love Wailord.
Love.
It's just
I've
Do you
seen
love
a
Skitty
trend.
as well?
Yeah.
what?
Do you love Skitty as well?
Skitty?
No.
You know, Wailord's girlfriend,
Yeah.
you know?
Nah.
What?
Yeah, it's
Just
Wailord's
Wailord.
bae because they can breed. You think about that.
Well,
Take that
all
to
right,
Wailord,
number one
Skitty
Pokemon
action.
tip of today's episode: Wailord and Skitty can mate.
breed.
Yeah.
Can breed.
You
Sure.
use the correct terminology right now.
They can fornicate.
That's just gross.
All right.
Yeah. I also love Steelix.
Steelix is
Yeah,
cool.
Why does he get to name like 12 and I get to
Because
name
I can't
only
pick one.
Charizard?
Because
he's
David is pretty
indecisive.
indecisive
I,
as shit.
I have
I
a
know.
bunch.
I just
of
love-
We
favorites.
respect you for that.
I love
Alright.
I just love like the giant, really heavy, awesome Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
All the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Taylor? What's your favorite Pokemon?
Until recently, it's always been Marowak, but since with the introduction of Gen 7 has been Golisopod.
Golisopod.
Oh, yeah.
Golisopod is such a
I know Golisopod.
Do you?
Golisopod is
you
my
should remember him
favorite.
from the D&D campaign that you've been playing with me every time.
Oh yeah, naturally I remember.
Naturally, as you're looking it up on your phone. With my judging eyes.
With the app you so graciously recommended us as the what's this app called?
The
Data
Data Dex.
Data Dex.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yo, if you guys like little like Pokemon
Factoids.
yeah, factoids, and like it has all like their moves list, their TMs,
that's
HMs
cool.
from all the gens and everything, and it
I
even
just
has
go to
this
Bulbapedia.
Pokepedia.
Bulba.
Bulbapedia.
Bulba.
Yeah. They don't have an app though, do they?
No.
Yeah, this is just a nice little app you can have. Which
It's
is
free.
cool.
It's nice. It's good,
Yeah.
and it looks cool because you can.
You can even see their sprites on it, I think.
Yep, you can see their
Like 3D
animated
sprites.
sprites. They're
Yeah.
idle sprites.
Yeah, and I totally how do you spell Golisopod?
GOL.
Oh, GOL. Oh yeah. Okay.
Golisopod.
I thought it was like Golisopod.
Golis.
Oh yeah.
Please
Golisopod.
show everyone the picture here.
Oh, I thought you meant
Please reveal what a Golisopod looks like.
Us and them.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah,
I'm gonna just
he's on my sun team.
He was the first Pokemon I fully EV trained and IV bred.
There you go.
Sun and Moon, because I saw him at first when they introduced Wimpod. I said, "What is this?" It's like a little water bug. It's a scaredy cat. I get it. It's like it has no moves. And then when it evolved, I was like, "Whoa!"
It's like the new Magikarp. Very
yeah,
much.
it's pretty much.
Do you like its ability?
What's its ability?
Its ability is Emergency Exit, which is when it goes under half health, it actually retreats itself, and you switch out into a new Pokemon.
Oh.
It's really cool because his main damaging move that most people use is First Impression, which can only be used the first time he comes out. Mm-hmm. So you send him out, use First Impression, they knock you down to 50%, he backs out, send him back in, First Impression again, and it does a lot of damage. It's like a base 80 power.
Do you have to choose who you switch out to?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's like if you use shit, what's
the switch thing?
It's like the bug move that switches.
U-turn. You're thinking of U-turn and Volt Switch. Yeah.
That's where I'm looking for, yeah.
Except it doesn't do damage. It's just when he gets to a certain health percentage.
I know that move.
See, I like the ability, but like I also don't like it because like my Golisopod has Fault Swipe, and it's the only one on my team that knows how to use can learn the move. Mm-hmm. So like I use that to catch Pokemon.
Right, and once he gets down to 50%, he backs out, and you're like,
and then I'm forced to run away.
Right.
So
because in a wild battle it makes you run.
He doesn't learn any other abilities either.
Nope, it's just that. It's just that, and even when he's a Wimpod, he gets another. I forget his ability at the time. It's the same thing as Emergency Exit. When he gets down to 50%, he backs out.
50%.
But Colby, what's your favorite Pokemon?
Hi, Colby. I wonder what it is.
I wonder what it is as I look around this room and see the many Quilladins.
Nidoking. I love Nidoking. He was my favorite until Quilladin.
Yeah.
Was it Nidoking?
Yeah, I like Nidoking. Oh, it was Espeon. You're right. Because Nidoking's kind of like that weird one. I always forget he's my favorite until I see him. And I'm like, oh yeah, I like him way more than everyone else. But yeah, Espeon was my favorite.
How come?
He's not even my favorite evolution anymore. Now it's Glaceon.
How come?
Glaceon's my favorite too.
Yeah, I like Glaceon. How come what?
How come he was your favorite?
Who? Espeon?
Yeah.
Espeon was my favorite just because...
Just look at Espeon. It's the best.
I know why Quilladin's your favorite. Yeah. I don't know why Espeon was.
But the other people don't know why Quilladin's my favorite.
Espeon's a pretty cool evolution.
Yeah. I liked him because of probably Coliseum, because I liked him more than Umbreon.
Absolutely. Yeah. When that game was introduced and you had an Umbreon and an Espeon at the beginning, I was like, what? They're so hard to get because everything's time-based in Gold and Silver, and it's just like, oh god, like, now as an adult, you're trying to get an Umbreon, you're like, I have to do this at night?
Plus, like, I liked all the evolutions back in the day, except for...
Flareon.
I loved Flareon. Flareon's
awesome.
Like the worst
Flareon
one back in the day.
Was trash until he got Flare Blitz.
Yeah, what, Gen 6?
I thought Vaporeon was the lamest out of them all. Back when I was younger, when I was a kid, I was like, that one's a fish. Like, it's a fish. The other one has like, it's just sharp. Has like, glass all over him.
Yeah.
And one shoots fire and looks cool. And Eevee's whatever, who cares? And then you got Espeon and Umbreon, who are just, emo kid was like, dark type, that's me. And Espeon just
flips hair dramatically.
And then came Quilladin.
I love Quilladin.
Why?
No, you're just...
Man, I love Quilladin because the very first time his like promo pic came out, I'm gonna put it up. Hold on, what time is it? 9:30. Yeah. When his first promo pic came up and it was just him with the outspread arms and being like, it like everybody made fun of him. Nobody liked Quilladin. Everybody was just like, this sucks. Like, this motherfucker is dumb. We're going to go with,
when they introduced the secondaries, I was like, oh, the Firefox is going to look pretty cool. And then the frog, I was like, Frogadier, where is this going?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was just like some French, like...
There's a whole Frogadier.
Yeah, exactly. And Quilladin's just kind of like the dope of the group and everything. And but he looked so happy. And I like how happy he looks, despite like in anything he's in, he always looks super happy. Except for the figures they come out with him, he always looks kind of
angry.
Yeah, looks kind of
really angry,
like determined to kick your ass. And I'm like, I feel like they missed the character on that one. He's just supposed to be like I don't care if everybody thinks I'm a fucking idiot. I'm just gonna like smile and be cool with everyone.
Yep.
And that's what he is. And then they came out with an episode, him in the anime.
Just about cool.
Just about cool, and where he falls in love with an Eevee and tries to get with it, and then gets like horribly rejected. And it kind of reminds me of Rock Lee. Like just the way he acts reminds me of Rock Lee, and I love that about him. And then he, at the very end, he's like, "Oh man, she'll never love me." And then he sees a Flareon. He's like, "Oh, I'm about to steal your bitch!" And he like runs up to him and then gets rejected again. And he's just a very endearing Pokemon.
That's a weird concept. What happens when Pokemon crossbreed?
I mean,
get a Quillion, Queerion.
They can't even breed. I'm really sure
Actually,
they can't
Ditto.
even breed.
He had the
just
hots
do
for
it,
Eevee.
Huh?
He had the hots for
Had
Eevee.
the hots for
Something
Eevee.
has to happen.
It's not all about sex or Quillion.
I guess
I
that's
feel
true.
like he's
You're
like
right.
the milady of Pokemon.
Does he have a fedora?
Oh no!
Yeah.
I think
Tips
Dartrix.
for
I think Dartrix is the milady. Emo owl.
All right, moving on from favorite Pokemon. Let's start with like, what's your favorite Pokemon game? Like, what do you think in your eyes the pinnacle Pokemon game? Not in terms of like it's the best in terms of you know playability.
Should we
and
do
everything
by
like
groups
that.
though? Should we say like
Should
red,
what,
blue,
gen?
yellow, or should we be like
Yeah,
You
I
talking
mean,
like generation or?
yeah?
Well, I'm saying on a personal level.
Yeah.
like
What
which
is
game
your
specifically?
favorite game to
Okay.
you?
Okay.
No, no.
Soul Silver.
I'm gonna stop you right there and just merge our together
Alright.
because Soul Silver is like my pinnacle too.
'Cause my favorite for the longest was Crystal. Love Crystal.
Oh yeah,
So good.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like, because after Emerald, I fell off, like a lot of people did.
Likewise, same exact.
And I heard the remake of Gen 2 was coming out. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then my cousin had a copy of Diamond, so I played that. I was like, oh, this is cool. It's cool. And then Soul Silver came out. I was like, this is the greatest Pokemon game of all time. And like, it's just so good.
Dude, just like the sprite work and everything in that game.
The
plus
music.
The music's great. Everything looks beautiful about that game. And it's just like, man, if you loved Silver and Gold, or Gen 2 at all growing up, that game is your jam.
If only they fixed Victory Road, because it was still terrible.
Yeah.
No trainers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I
So
don't know why. How about you, David?
it's hard for me to choose between two. So obviously the original blue version is one of my favorites, and it's
Gen 1er in the group.
well,
Let's beat you up.
well, like,
Everybody kick his ass.
nostalgia is like a thing, right? So like whenever I play that game, it just brings me back to like 3rd grade.
Have you ever like looked back on the sprite work?
Oh yeah, it's awful.
Gen?
It's awful.
It's atrocious.
Actually, if you look back at the sprite work of like Gold and Silver versus everything else, everything looks terrifying.
Oh yeah.
You look
So
at it, you're
bad.
like, oh my god, this thing like legitimately looks like it's gonna come out and kick my
Yeah.
ass.
Have you ever seen Gen 1 Blastoise? Like,
Yeah,
before
he
was
looks
like
crazy.
He's just like swollen
Yeah.
like that, and he looks bad.
But I did play Fire Red when they remade them,
Oh, yeah.
and I didn't get all the way through it.
Oh,
I couldn't get all the way through it. But when they re-released Red and Blue on the Virtual Console,
yeah.
played through the whole thing.
Oh, really?
And
Interesting.
like even I don't know, despite the bad artwork, I like that game. But
Yeah,
also, I really liked Pokemon X.
Oh, that's Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to choose actually.
That was a
between-
revival for me.
Yeah.
Because once it made the switch to like 3D with X and Y, I was like, okay, I'll get back into it. And
Yeah.
I played the shit out of that game.
Yeah, so between Blue and X, I honestly don't know which one I like more.
Well, you gotta pick one.
That's true. You have to pick one.
And here it comes.
It's
time.
I guess just because nostalgia pushes over the edge, Blue is gonna have to win.
Wow, what a Gen
But-
1.
I know.
Yeah.
Piece of
Gen
work.
But I
1.
loved X. I did.
What about you, Taylor?
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Both of you said Soul Silver, and I'm gonna say Heart Gold.
I never
Equally
played
as
Gold.
good.
Because here's the thing. The only reason I was even able to play Gold and Silver, I've actually never beaten Silver. I've only played Gold.
Shame on
Beat
you.
it
Yeah.
multiple times over. Ho-Oh is my favorite legendary.
Is he really?
Yes. Ho-Oh is my favorite legendary because when Gen 1 was out, it was Moltres because he was a Phoenix. And I was like, that's awesome. Then they came out with Ho-Oh, and I'm like, this is like bigger, better, badass Phoenix. I like him. But yeah, originally it would have been the original Gold.
Yeah.
Because Gold and Silver and Crystal, those were amazing games. They did everything right in terms of new Pokemon, like fresh ideas,
Yep.
and going back to Kanto and fighting the old gym leaders
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
perfect. And the fact that they continued on with the story and had that Lance was a huge part of Gen 2 when he was just like this mysterious dragon trainer in Gen 1, and now he's the champion. Oh, okay. I'll let him kick my ass like 1,000 times. But then when they remade Gold and Silver into Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I immediately went to the store, got Heart Gold, and nobody was buying Heart Gold. Everyone was buying Silver.
Yeah.
So I was like, perfect, because I love this game, and I bought it and loved it, and everything about that game that they fixed was, except for Victory Road, is awesome.
Why do you guys think Silver is generally more popular than Gold?
No, kind of like
I think it's honestly Lugia.
Yeah.
Kind of like the same way like Diamond is more popular than Pearl. It's just like the first.
It literally comes down to legendaries.
Yeah.
I think,
People look at the box arts, they see which legendary they want, and they pick that.
Lugia's way more edgier looking, which appeals more to their demographic.
Which is really funny.
Pokemon 2000.
Yep, plus Pokemon 2000 definitely advertised.
I mean, Ho was in the first Pokemon episode, but it was just like, look at that!
Can we talk about Pokemon, the first movie, for like 2 seconds? And how
Sure.
in the beginning of that movie, where they had a Dawn fan and Gen 2 hadn't been introduced yet?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
And I was like, what's that elephant? That thing's awesome!
Or I like how
I love that.
the scene where they're all going, all the trainers are going to the island, and there's like an Ekin, it's an Arbok or an Ekans that's like in the water.
Oh, when they're all swimming to the island?
I love seeing Tumblr posts that are just like, I have infiltrated the water. They think I'm one of their own.
It's so good.
It's just like, why is he there?
Hey, snakes can swim.
I guess, yeah.
Now I have a question for you, Taylor.
Sure, absolutely.
Have you used your Pokewalker when you got a Heart Gold?
Yes,
I did too.
Oh, I did too.
Yes, I did.
I was in high school at the time, and I just had it on my little belt.
Is that,
too.
Yep.
Was that like the,
so I wouldn't get beat
that
up?
was like the pedometer?
Yeah.
I had that. Yeah, I remember that.
Pokeball.
You can
I
get
used
Surfing Pikachu that way.
Yeah, it was Pokemon Go.
Yeah, the predecessor of Pokemon Go, kind of. I wonder if that had anything to do with influence.
Heart Gold and Soul Silver did everything. It was ahead of its time.
No, that game was like, that is like the pinnacle of Pokemon in my eye. Not like in a competitive sense or anything, but just enjoyment.
No, absolutely.
But so now that we know what our favorite Pokemans and Pokemon games are.
Yes.
Let's just go right into our Digimon episode. So I think Agumon.
Scoldreamon, you're wrong.
What our favorite legendaries are. They're like we already know Taylor's.
Why don't you ask?
All right,
Why don't you ask the questions, Blake?
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
What's your favorite legendary? Go, David.
I'm on the spot.
Legendary?
Oh god, yeah, I know. I'm trying to.
Oh, I know mine.
Oh,
You're not on a time limit. Come on.
I am on a time limit.
You technically are on a time limit.
I can't think of enough legendaries off the top of my head.
Just think the first one that comes to your head.
I mean, the first one that
favorite.
comes to my head is Mewtwo because it's a badass.
Wow,
but then I'm
what
a
a fucking Gen 1er.
I know. I can't think of
the first edgy Pokemon.
X or Y?
No, it's normal Mewtwo.
Oh,
not even Mega.
What about you, Taylor? While we're waiting for David to get his shit
Ho-Oh.
together. Oh yeah, Ho-Oh, duh.
But a couple of runner-ups that I have I can talk about if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, Yveltal's one of them. Yveltal's just a really cool design. He's black and red, and he spreads his wings and tail. It forms into a Y, which is pretty cool. His main move that he knows is pretty cool. Oblivion Wing.
Oblivion Ring?
Oblivion
Wing.
Wang.
Oblivion Wang?
Oblivion Wang. Yeah, Oblivion Wing. It's he opens up and glows red, and then a giant red and black beam just shoots down. And it deals damage, and whatever damage it deals, it heals him for half that damage. It's really cool.
Pokemon really loves their beam attacks now.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do.
Especially
really
from the beginning. Yeah.
I mean, not for nothing, but when in Gen 7 and Gen 6 even, they brought back the old Psychic sound from Gen 1 and the old Hyper Beam sound.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
They really, really did a good job with that. They're like, hey, those guys that have been playing Pokemon all these years, well, let's sneak that in there real
Easter
quick.
egg for you guys. What about you, Blake? What's your favorite legendary?
Suicune.
Suicune, yeah.
Probably coming from my love of Crystal.
Suicune gets a lot of love too. Not as much as Entei. And is it Entei?
Entei.
And Raikou.
Right. Alright, well,
do not pronounce Suicune as our friend Chris does.
How does he pronounce it?
Suicune.
Suicune? Is it soy sauce?
What is that?
Raikou's probably one of my favorite.
Actually, of the three of them, I like Raikou.
You don't like Rayquaza?
Rayquaza's really cool.
Oh man,
Rayquaza's really cool. That trio, of Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza are super
I was just
cool.
gonna say, you want to know what my favorite legendary might actually be? Kyogre.
Kyogre.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
good
really
choice.
cool legendaries. I like Raikou because he doesn't get any fucking love.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. That like he's kind of left up to interpretation in a way.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
did
also
he
a
even...
Saber Cat, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
which is cool. His design is really awesome too. I think. You
Yeah,
know?
I agree.
What else? I mean, yeah, man, Rayquaza's pretty awesome.
Yes.
Even
he
Mega
is.
Rayquaza's really cool too.
Yeah.
But David, is that, that you're locking it in?
Kyogre, yeah.
Locked it in, Kyogre.
Lock in Kyogre.
All right.
Ching.
Any other favorites?
Favorite gen?
You.
Oh, favorite gen?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Real quick about that
Gen?
one.
Alright.
Didn't we kind of already do that?
Well, we did
I
You
game.
guess
could
our
have a
favorite
favorite
game.
game,
Game.
and a different
I mean,
favorite
mine's the
gen.
same.
Oh, shut up.
You have a
Gen
different gen?
Oneer.
I would say 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
I'd say,
two. It's
yeah.
definitely 2 for me.
Yeah, two is like
100%.
I like 3. 3 is when
three's
I
really
like,
great.
yeah, that's when I started to drop off.
Yeah.
of
That's
it,
also
too.
when they added the most Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because they added only like 100 for Gen 2.
Whenever I think of Gen 3, the flagship Pokemon that always shows up for me is Wingull. I don't know why.
Wingle.
Yeah, that's
It's just
that's
Wingull.
pretty much Wingull
Wingull
and
with the
Pelipper are
trumpet.
pretty popular.
Yeah.
Not even Pelipper, just Wingull. I just think of Wingull. I don't know.
Oh,
He's
it
just
was-
like the epitome of Gen 3.
I think of Exploud, like that whole line, because it's such a cool Pokemon.
I think of MIDI trumpets.
MIDI trumpets?
Yeah, MIDI.
Oh, yeah, I think.
Not
yeah.
mini. I mean, I guess mini in a way.
Yeah.
Technically, yeah.
So, I mean, now that we talked about favorites, getting that out of the way. So, what do you guys think of the Pokemon as a franchise? You know,
Yeah.
from its conception till now, it's obviously one of, if not the most popular sort of gaming franchise out there at the moment. Past its heyday, for sure. You know, the Pokemon boom, or whatever you call it. But why do you think Pokemon got as popular as it did? What are the elements that made
That's
Pokemon
easy.
popular?
That's easy.
What?
Collectibles.
Yeah.
People like to collect things, and even more so, people like to collect like
Cute things.
Colorful
beasts,
yeah.
colorful, fun things that they can then like level up and train,
And then you can have
do it
them beat
over
the
and over
crap
again.
out of each other.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's like that was my dream game as a kid,
Yeah.
and then it came out, and I was like, "Yo, I can do this forever."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, because it transcended over gaming, right? It was just like, okay, its games are huge, but also its like toy line is
Yep.
massive. Its show is incredibly popular.
Yep.
Trading
Still
cards,
Yep.
Still is.
coloring books, Spaceballs, the flamethrower. You know, just
Everything.
everything about that. Like, what do you guys?
I
about the
think just
franchise.
all the stars aligned with the show and the games, and it's just
This came out.
Pokémania, as they called it.
And it's still going on today. It just
Yeah.
hasn't stopped. It hasn't slowed down at all. With the release of every new game that comes out, it's just like as if they know that the fans that have grown up with these game series and the show and all the toys, it's just they know that they'll always keep playing it because of how
Yeah.
I mean, just look at Pokemon Go.
yeah.
When that came
Yeah.
out, that was massive.
They drew on everyone's nostalgia. They were like, "Yo, go out and walk, and you'll find Pokemon."
Huh.
And I was like, "Yeah."
It was something
Absolutely.
completely
Wanted to.
different that they were able to get people to do because of just brand loyalty,
Yep.
right? I think that's like crazy in itself. But I mean, where did Pokemon go right? Where a series like Digimon went wrong, right? I love Digimon.
Oh, absolutely.
Digimon's great in its own right, and everybody compares like, oh, Pokemon, Digimon. They're like different things in itself. But you have very similar concepts of
Yep.
like these little monsters, like very marketable concepts that can,
I think that's exactly what Pokemon did better than Digimon is marketing.
marketing.
Like when because
Absolutely.
both of them were out around the same time. Like season, like the anime, season 1 Digimon, season 1 Pokemon. There, I remember watching both on Saturday mornings, and like the card games are out around the same time. Digimon didn't really have. First of all, Digimon didn't really have video game to go along with it. It was mostly just an anime.
Oh, they had the little gig.
I have one
They
right
had
there.
Gigapets.
yeah, they had like little. Yeah, but
I
it's
have
not.
the
It's not the same as
I know,
a Game Boy game.
but that's like their only thing that they pretty much had with it.
Yeah, and obviously that's a factor. But everyone knew what Pokemon was.
Yeah.
Even when I was in elementary school, parents were talking about Pokemon.
Yeah.
Not nearly as many people were talking about Digimon.
Right.
It just wasn't a name that was like a household thing. You know, they just either they didn't have enough commercials, they didn't have as much merchandise, or they didn't have that flagship video game or something.
I also think it chalks down to they didn't have a mascot. Right, Agumon is not a mascot in comparison to Pikachu.
Yeah,
the unisex
who was almost a Clefairy, by the way.
Yeah, it was almost a Clefairy,
which would have been, I think
number 2.
that could have worked very well too, because I think they want to go for that like cutesy like option, but like a little mouse is like cuter, is not cuter, but like it's
more unisex.
It's more unisex.
That's true.
Whereas Clefairy is like, you see that and you'd be like, that's a girl thing, you know, because it's pink and fluffy. As kids, that's what we would have identified as, and it probably wouldn't have been as popular.
If we saw this thing as third grade me, if I see like a cute pink fairy thing as like the mascot, would have been.
Did any of you have like Clefairy in your party when you first played Gen 1?
Not in my
party.
I did.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Well, fuck no, but
Metronome was fun.
Like Agumon is definitely not a mascot. No, he isn't. He's just like this weird looking kind of like generic dinosaur kind of dude. But yeah, it's very interesting how it just blew up like that, right? Like the huge phenomenon that it was. I mean, I guess it chalks down to marketing. It chalks down to good mascot.
Like what else they had, like with their toy line versus and their cards.
Yeah,
like Digimon had cards, but people were not very. They didn't really attach themselves to that card game because it was kind of a confusing rocks, paper, scissors concept.
Yeah.
Versus Pokemon, it was like, here's your health, here's how much damage you do, and then you take turns doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus the Pokemon
that's more relatable.
Game Boy card game helps people a lot.
I played that a lot actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people
I bought that when they put it on Virtual Console.
It's also it's really like interesting how when you have a franchise or a product, a property, anything like that expands into so many different avenues of media. You have the Pokemon musical, like I said before, television show, all that.
Yeah.
The quality of such media products weren't bad, right? They didn't degrade.
Yeah.
Over time, I think toys are obviously going to get worse and everything like that. But the main core line of all of those aspects always remained popular and of passable quality.
Yeah.
Like how do you think they like did that? Like, isn't that like amazing for any franchise to be able to do that? Like, can you think of a franchise that did that wrong? Like, a franchise that has a huge marketing line that obviously not at the same level of success as Pokemon, but of a similar high enough level that you see their products and you're like, oh, fuck this. Like, wow. This is not, there is no care put into these products. It's scrutinization. That Japan flair, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know if I know enough toy brands to really comment on that.
Yeah.
I want to say, like, DBZ toy lines.
I was going to say the same thing.
I was thinking about that because if you honestly, like take a broad look at this, if you look at, like, DBZ toys and card games, how many people do you know that play them? Or had them, you know? Versus...
I'll challenge the action figure line, because I think DBZ action figures and whatnot were very popular.
Right.
In their regard. But I agree with, other than video games... And their concentrated
even their
media
video games didn't sell it as like nearly as good.
Their video games definitely weren't as popular. That's for sure. But yeah, like their card game, and then they didn't branch out to other.
They had like 3 different card games.
Yeah, there's one out right now, the Dragon Ball Super card game. That
Who knows about
play.
it? Yeah,
no one's gonna play it. I mean, I guess that's a testament to Pokemon's success as far as like you really can't think of anything as big as Pokemon.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, a lot of products nowadays get really marketed, like oversaturated. Like when Deadpool came out, there's like Deadpool everything. Game of Thrones, like I could get a Game of Thrones toilet cover, right? Like
that's like what Newberry Comics strives on.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
have sections of like this show, just like
and
random
just like,
paraphernalia of all of it.
Like majority of the stuff is trash.
Yeah.
Right. But with Pokemon, I think they maintained a really good.
Like quality control.
Yeah, good quality control on that.
Yeah.
And whether or not that came to Japan being like very strict, but I don't think the Pokemon brand was very strict with what they do. Not like the way Nintendo is with Mario or Zelda or anything, right?
Right.
Did we ever get a Pokemon cereal?
I don't think so. Not that I can remember.
There's gotta be.
There's gotta be
way.
one.
Fact check. Thank you.
It was probably like Pikachu like branded mac and cheese or something.
Probably.
I
Something like that.
guarantee you there's Pokemon.
Oh, there is. There's Pokemon. I think there was.
Oh yeah, there
Pokemon
was,
mac
because
and
I remember
cheese.
they gave the Meowth card, didn't they? Or was that for like fruit snacks or something? The gold bordered Meowth trading card. They gave it in like mac and cheese or fruit
I thought
snacks
that
or
was,
something.
that might have been like Big. Oh, there. Yeah. Wow.
It
Kellogg's.
existed.
Yep.
Ah, yeah,
Kellogg's
oh,
came
yeah.
out.
Oh my god, that Pikachu looks
You
so
send that to
different.
I know.
That Pikachu looks so different from the one we know now.
Pikachu really slimmed down over the years.
Oh yeah, he lost a lot of.
Oh, he was a chunker
Yeah.
at one point.
That being said, like, let's talk about the television show a little bit.
Yeah.
Ash
Let's
sucks.
like circle back. Yeah. Why is that show so like freaking popular still?
Do you know why? Have you Okay, so I wanted to know this answer too.
Yeah.
So I watched the final episode of like the Kalos season,
Yep.
which is Gen 6.
Yeah.
And it was Ash's Greninja versus a Mega Sceptile.
Yeah.
It was the craziest Naruto-style battle.
Yeah.
Absolute
Blake can confirm.
ridiculousness that I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god. Like, it was literally down to like two ninjas fighting each other. I was like, then they're like, whoa, what is this? Like, they're using all sorts of cool, like, turning their attacks into like shuriken and stuff like that. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, the action has become so intense in that show that it's like, wow, I don't remember it being this good as a kid.
It's
They
like,
upped their game.
the
It's like a
animation
legit shoujo
in that
anime.
show is like very good.
Yes.
That's so
Very
weird.
good.
very
for a
good.
Like,
show
in that
that's
time,
even-
it's like incredible.
Which
Even
is like-
have
it's
you
like a-
seen any of the episodes of the Gen 7 episodes?
Oh, when they
At all?
redesigned.
Yeah,
Ash
They
everything,
and all that?
redesigned
yeah,
Ash.
everything looks weird, but like there's a lot of still like awesome.
But the art
animated
style like
stuff.
fits in
Yeah.
with the setting, and I
Yeah.
like that.
Good on them to get bold enough to
do
switch
that.
up that style.
Yeah, that's
I like
awesome.
that. That's true. Not a lot of people are into it, but it's like a Wind Waker thing, right? You're into it, you're
Yeah.
not.
That's a good comparison.
I haven't watched that anime since Gen 2.
Yeah, no,
So, I mean-
me neither. I mean, like most people, I kind of fell off.
It just got the syndrome of like a really long anime to me. Just
Yeah.
like One Piece, you know, it goes on and on and on and on.
Why do you think it's so popular for a show that's all about a kid who never fucking makes it?
Because
You know what's funny? He gets in the top 8 almost every time.
Yeah.
The lowest he's ever been was like top 16.
Like, don't you think?
I think when I was a kid and I liked watching it, I liked the first and second season, and I liked that he like never made it because it made him like more realistic.
Oh yeah.
Then when I got older, I was like, all right, it's the same thing over and over. But then there's more kids
Yeah.
yeah.
that like to see the same thing that I saw when I was a kid. So it keeps going on and on because there's always kids.
Yeah, I guess
You know?
I guess that's what it comes down to, right? The show isn't made for us.
Yeah,
It's made for that demographic.
yeah, and I loved it, and then kids still love it.
But you
Yeah.
can see when you watch the show that they are still trying to throw little things in there to be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, anyone that's been watching us forever and been playing Pokemon forever,
I'm
here
sure,
you go.
I'm sure.
You know,
That's why Ash never makes it.
Yeah, I mean, when
Makes
Ash
sense.
makes it, they don't really have a show, I guess.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's true.
I guess it comes.
but he
down
always
to.
comes close.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
Which
worst.
is really
part.
cool.
because the power of his friends.
Power of his friends that he ditches in the next season.
You know the thing I liked the most when watching Pokemon as a kid? Whenever he caught a new Pokemon.
Yeah,
I was so hype. Whenever he
Like,
caught a new
the
Pokemon.
possibilities kind of opened.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, yo, this is
Yeah.
the best.
Then he just gets rid of them.
I know.
He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
see you, Butterfree.
You know what's
see you,
weird? He
Pidgeot.
gets rid of his strongest Pokemon too. He got rid of Greninja right after that fight. His Goodra he got rid of right after that fight. He got rid of
Charizard.
Sceptile, like all these really strong Pokemon, and he just like, nah.
Yeah.
Like 100 Tauros or whatever.
30 Tauros.
30 Tauros.
Yeah, all
Hey.
30 of them are still at
Us-
the ranch.
Us North American viewers, we don't know about them Tauros. We just know he has
I know.
them.
Yeah,
We
they
don't know why he got-
disappeared.
Yeah, they
we never got
disappeared.
that episode.
I remember because I had that episode, like when they talk about all his Tauros. I had it on
Yep.
VHS, and I'm like, oh, I must have missed a VHS or something because I don't remember him getting those. Little did I know I would never see it ever,
Nope, never.
unless I like pirate the Japanese version online.
hmm
But
Which we don't condone. Right, Colby?
I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, you better hide.
So that being said, I mean, we know that why how Pokemon is so popular as it is now, just
Yeah.
a powerhouse it is.
Mhm.
I think it has indeed stabilized at a point below its peak. Right, its peak was early 2000s. Pokemania was happening. Pokemon was everywhere. Like You could not go anywhere without Pokemon in your face.
Yes.
Not in the way where you're trying to see it's like, oh, the Pokemon shirt, the Pokemon,
it's
Pokemon's always
everywhere.
here. But so it is stabilized, I think, to that base point.
Yeah.
It also hasn't gone down either.
Yeah, it definitely hasn't gone down.
Definitely maintained that
But it will have to go down at some point, right? It's don't like any series,
I mean,
unless
it's been a long
right,
time.
right, unless it innovates in some its own formula, which it has before.
And it still does.
What is its next
times.
innovation? Do you guys? The question is, what does the series have to do to remain relevant in the coming years?
A console version. Wait, it's getting that.
Yeah, but what in that console version? Because it could just be like, what if they were just like, Pokemon Stars, and it's just basically like a port of Sun and Moon.
That's probably all it needs to take to get like a bajillion buys,
Yeah, but I think it's still gonna like kind of be stable. Like that's not innovating, right? Like what I'm talking about. The question is, what new thing can we see from the Pokemon series that it hasn't done yet? That would be very much in a new positive direction.
Even though you say that, I feel like Nintendo doesn't have to really innovate to continue with the strength and force that they've been going with.
Yeah.
I feel like that they can make innovative, like, creative decisions within the games that we all know the formula of. But if you look at it, Gen 7 just came out with the new formula where it said no Elite Four. Or, not no Elite Four, no gym leaders. I'm sorry. No gym leaders. And we're like, okay, so what do we fight? And then you end up fighting Totem Pokemon, which is a really cool idea. Pokemon that are guarding the Z Crystals. That's really cool. And then there's just captains that say, hey, here's the trial. You have to go do this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's new. That's innovative. That's a new thing that they just released. And, if they just do little things like that.
Right. So if they change the formula of the games themselves.
Just
not the core
not even like
gameplay,
the core of the game. Like just a little bit. Just like, hey, there's no gym leaders, but you still have to fight someone.
Right, yeah.
Obviously, because otherwise you can't progress.
No fighting in Pokemon, that's it.
Pacifist.
I know, like, a lot of people, pretty much every console generation, are like, if we get, like, a Pokemon game on this console and plays just like the mobile games, just like better graphics and better things. Like, everyone's always been asking for that since I was, like, a kid. And I feel like that's absolutely not going to happen for the Switch.
Yeah.
And I feel
they said it was a core Pokemon RPG. So I assume not like Coliseum.
No, it's gonna be like the normal Pokemon formula.
I feel like that's not the innovation they need right now, because the 3D stuff for Pokemon is pretty new still, relatively new. Like it's only a few years old since X and Y came out.
2012.
Yeah, a few years. So like I feel like they don't need to up their 3D game for an innovation. Like they don't need to make better graphics.
Pokemon stylized on its own.
I don't even know if they're going to do that, by the way. I don't even know.
Well, if it's on Switch.
If it's on the Switch, they can keep the same graphics and be like, hey.
Well, they just well, I think they'll like
buff it up a little bit.
Yeah, make it look pretty.
Oh,
they'll make it look pretty.
What you were saying? Continue with your thought.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to another. Like, I know they said like a mainstay game on the Switch, but I wouldn't be opposed to like another just like Pokemon Stadium style game or any of that, because like I feel like not as many people would put as much time into a console version of a Pokemon game than they would a mobile, especially in Japan.
Yeah. The Switch kind of...
It is handheld.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the battery life.
It's still a handheld.
Yeah, but...
And that's like Nintendo's strong point.
I see what you're saying.
I'm thinking of Japan sales is the main thing I'm thinking.
Oh, that's what they probably care about most of all, too.
They care about
any Japanese
mobile
primary company.
Yeah.
That's why Pokemon Go,
the
3DS titles.
I do feel like Pokemon, obviously, like any series, needs to innovate over the course of time, but I don't feel like they need a major innovation as of yet.
Yeah,
I don't think so either.
No, they definitely don't need any sort of innovation.
But like I said, they're making the step towards. Okay, so we're not going to follow the same 100% formula. We'll go 80%, and then everyone goes nuts and goes, "Oh my god, this game's amazing!"
Yep.
I would appreciate a better Coliseum.
I agree with you.
I need a narrative. I don't need all. How many Pokemon are there now?
About 810.
I do not need 800 plus Pokemon in my game right now. I don't.
I think.
If I want that, I'll go play a mobile game. What I want out of like the Switch game, if that's coming out, I want like a really good JRPG from them using you know, kind of like Coliseum did. Not all of them, just like a good portion of the Pokemon. Bring them in and like let's do a fucking cool story out of it.
You want to know what I think would be amazing? But I mean, it's probably not going to happen. But have any of you played Ni no Kuni?
Yes,
No,
I have.
haven't.
I have played Ni no Kuni.
So in Ni no Kuni, their combat system is you're walking on like the overworld, and when you touch an enemy, you go into a battle, JRPG style. Only you fight against monsters, little monsters like Pokemon, and you yourself as the trainer or like the main character is in the battle, and then you also have the little monsters that you control, having them fight the other monsters, and you can like hit them with the stick and do like little things. But if Pokemon did,
you Pikachu.
if the Pokemon console version was like, we have 150 new Pokemon, those are the only Pokemon in the game, besides ones you transfer. I guess they need to have all of them because you need to transfer. But the battle system was your trainer was there, physically in the battle, that you could like move around, but you also had to command your Pokemon.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking
So
about?
you gave them like orders, but you yourself, you had an active role.
Yes.
In the
I just think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I would like that.
And it'd be like a new system for a console, you know?
The problem with the franchise is they wrote themselves into a corner by adding over 800 Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because you can never put that many in a new game.
802.
But if it is on the Switch, I guess you won't be able to transfer, or will you be able to from your 3DS?
I mean, I can see them putting a Pokemon Bank on the Switch.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Absolutely.
But what I mean is, like, you can't make a new game with all those Pokemon. You just can't.
You
Like,
could.
if you're building a game from the ground up, you have to put 800 individual, not like...
I mean, they
no,
put
that's
that
why-
many in Sun and Moon.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying what they did was that they did it right with Sun and Moon.
They already had all the stat. I'm not talking about a core Pokemon game. I'm talking like a new like JRPG, new battle system, like an active battle system.
Like a spin-off-y kind of deal?
Yeah, they would have to...
They'd have to choose
work
certain
around
ones,
that.
like kind of like Pokken Tournament. They only choose so many Pokemon that can fight.
Like,
Exactly.
Like if they were like this game takes place in Kanto,
Yeah.
and it has a different battle style. It's like a JRPG, like this style, but they only want Kanto Pokemon in it
Yeah.
because you're in Kanto.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
But you wouldn't be able to transfer, and people would complain. Because
Yeah.
if you transferred anything besides Kanto Pokemon, it wouldn't work.
I mean, yeah. If you yeah, you just can't really advertise as like a main core Pokemon game in that respect. But the core Pokemon games are gonna keep coming out with the main core formula, forever probably. But that's what I mean for like spin-off ones, more that other people to grip their interest to be like, oh, that's something different. That's gonna pull me in. Right now, like I'm not interested in playing more Pokemon. Like other than like I'll play Pokken.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. If somebody gave me a copy of Pokken, I'd play that. Hell yeah, it's like different. But like, you still have like Taylor and Blake here. You two are pretty big fans of the core Pokemon games, so you'll get the new Pokemon games when they come out and
I have
play the
no
shit
life.
out of them. Yeah.
1,500 hours in Sun and Moon alone.
Do you think that the Switch game will will come out with a new generation of Pokemon with it?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I
can
really
see it
hope
being
they
Gen
do.
8.
Yeah.
If they make a Gen 8, that'd be really cool. I mean, they already announced Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and they said the Switch version would not be out for another year or so after.
minimum. Yeah.
So, minimum. So,
Which is good.
That would give them plenty of time to make a Switch and another... Even if they make 80 Pokemon like they did with Kalos, that would be okay.
Do you think the game that comes out on Switch, if it is the next generation, will also be released on 3DS?
No,
Absolutely not.
It's gonna be exclusive.
It's gonna be the exclusive.
There wouldn't be any
Switch version.
point. Like that's like its pull.
Do you think that'll hurt them?
No,
I don't think so.
No.
Not at all.
It's gonna
I
be
think
the
it would drive
first game in the
sales.
Switch.
Not at
If this
all.
was like,
Yeah.
if you were saying like,
That was the same-
this third Switch game coming out, third Pokemon Switch game, then I'd be like, okay, there might be a little hesitant on that, but
if they're making the mainstay game on Switch and only on Switch, won't they have to continue to only make it on their consoles?
They won't, though. Because knowing Nintendo, they'll always make it for the handheld, because that's how Pokemon...
I don't think
gets
I don't
its
think it's
power.
gonna be like the go-to like Pokemon Stars. I don't think it's gonna be Pokemon Stars, right? That's gonna come out on Switch. I think it's gonna be its own entity. That's the smart thing to do, right?
So they'll continue the mainstay game with Stars on 3DS and then make a separate mainstay game on Switch.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think we're
So
getting
what-
a star.
No,
I don't think
I'm
we're
choosing
gonna
that
get
as
stars.
an example.
As an example.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not getting Stars. I mean, if anything,
I think
then-
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are the last on 3DS.
So then-
kind of like Black and White 2, because Black and White 2 were released on the DS, and 3DS was already out.
yeah.
People are like, why isn't it on the 3DS?
So then will they have, like, do you think they'll make a 3DS Gen 8 and then a console Gen 8 and they'll be completely separate things?
I don't think so, because what they're going to do is they're going to do compatibility with both systems. They're obviously going to make it so it's like, hey, here's a new Gen 8 game, but why would they make it so that you can't, like, oh, I can't transfer any of my Pokemon to it? They're going to make it so that you can either some kind of Pokebank where you can transfer over to
I guess the question lies in if they can make the Pokemon Bank work, not only bringing your Pokemon to the Switch, but also the reverse, like bringing new Pokemon made for the Switch.
That's not how it's going to work.
Doesn't,
it's only one way.
It's going to be
it
like
goes forward, not backward.
Yeah, it never goes backwards.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo's ever going to let go of having Game Freak. Does Game Freak? They're still the primary maker.
Oh yeah,
of the games.
Game Freak.
They're not going to make Game Freak be like, please stop making 3DS games, just make Switch games. No, they're going to keep that on the 3DS.
I mean, I think the 3DS isn't, like, it's been around since 2012.
Yeah.
So I don't think it has much longer to go.
Yeah.
You don't think? I mean, it is the most popular mobile.
They'll make a new one. They'll make a new one.
They'll make a new 3DS.
Of all time, but like,
I mean, right now, I think.
Because what is it competing against? The Vita?
I mean, what is it ever going to compete against at this point?
Yeah.
Microsoft isn't going to come out with a mobile.
No.
Vita's dead.
I think it would be a smart marketing move if they were like, all right, first Gen 8 game is on Switch, and then after that they can continue putting on handhelds or 3DS or whatever. Because if everyone hears first Gen 8 game on Switch, everyone's going to buy a Switch.
Yeah,
that's such a good marketing campaign.
I
for
already
Switch.
did, and I don't even know what the game's coming
exactly.
out.
That would make
I'm just prepping.
That would make sales go crazy for a Switch.
Yeah,
but then since everyone and their mother has a 3DS, especially in Japan, they'll probably continue it, especially if it doesn't sell well on handheld.
But if it does sell well, I don't think they'd put a version on 3DS because they would just be competing with themselves.
Yeah, same.
That'd just be silly.
Yeah.
That's silly.
So do you guys think if Pokemon, say, Switch game, we don't know about it yet.
Yep.
Whatever. Or rather, Switch game comes out. It's a traditional core Pokemon title. Do you ever see this formula that they're doing? Ever see it fading at all?
Like the formula it has now?
I don't think so, because it's way too nostalgic. It's you beat the gym leaders or whoever you have to, totem Pokemon.
Yeah.
You go to the Elite Four, you beat the Elite Four, and then there's that one dude who's like, "Hey, I'm the best of the best. Come at me."
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been run strong for almost 30 years.
Collect them all.
20 years.
It's my favorite part in every Pokemon game. Catch them.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Sun and Moon has better sales than like X and Y and the ones before that.
Yeah.
So it's just.
Nintendo doesn't
it's
stop.
Just going.
Yeah, it works.
There's just a tsunami of power that can't be stopped.
Yeah, they're crazy.
What do you think it is about collecting things that is so... It just makes us want to do it?
I don't know. You do it all the time.
I know.
Every game you play.
I don't know what it is. even let me switch to a different game series for a minute. Persona. My favorite part of the Persona series is collecting all the Personas.
Really?
And my favorite part of Pokemon games is collecting all the Pokemon.
That's so weird, because I have the opposite mentality. I do not want to waste my fucking time.
You're not a completionist.
I need it.
I'm not. Yeah,
me neither am I.
I can't answer this question. I'm not a completionist.
I need it in my life.
I'm not a completionist, so I mean, in Sun and Moon, on both games, I collected all 300 that were in the game just so I can get the shiny charm.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I just wanted to get that one goal out of the way. Like, I don't really care about filling the 802 Pokedex right now. And I probably won't if they add more Pokemon.
Yeah. There's something about it. I need to have everything.
It's a sense of like...
I've only completed the full Pokedex once.
I don't know, can you quantify it in any way?
What do you mean?
That sensation of collecting everything and why you have to do it?
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just like...
I don't know, man.
Well, I'm not just going to leave this objective not done.
Yeah.
I got to do it.
Yeah.
You know? Feel like I'm not getting the full experience. If I don't
fair.
do it.
Do you think it's like a... Do you ever have the mindset of like, I'm not getting my money's worth if you don't complete that mission? Or it has nothing to do with money. It's just like a personal mission.
Monetary value. It's just like a personal thingy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a monetary value either. It's just like I've played awful games just to get the achievements for them. Yeah. Like I've done my gamer score on 360 was through the roof because I played the worst games in existence.
Is it bragging rights?
I don't know.
You guys don't really brag. You guys don't brag about it.
It's like personal achievement.
I don't even brag about collecting Pokemon. It's just like It's like, yeah, I have this. And like, oh, it's so cool. I'm like, yeah, but whatever.
If you looked at my achievement score on World of Warcraft, even though I haven't played in such a long time, it's like higher than most people. It's just because I need to do everything.
That was the only thing that kept me playing WoW when I got back into it during Legion. I was like, achievements.
I mean,
because it gives a quantum. Well, to be fair, WoW is a way different beast because that's like you see it in front of you and it is like, this is my to-do list.
Yeah, and they give you a lot of rewards.
Wandering around aimlessly being an asshole.
They give you tons of stuff for doing the achievements. So, yeah, that's a whole different thing.
But so going away from the beast that is Pokemon on its own, let's go back to a more personal level.
I am a lovable snap.
So what's we've had a lot of years of experience with the Pokemon franchise, experienced a lot, played a lot
with the Pokemon,
with the Pokemon,
Pokemon.
And what is like a fond memory you have of what comes to mind when you have?
I have the best memory, but I want to go last.
I remember most of mine come from when I was a kid.
Yeah,
when I was in 2nd or 3rd grade playing Pokemon Blue in the playground at my school. Me and this kid were trading with the old link cables.
Yeah,
and I don't remember what he was giving me, like a Machamp from I think he wanted a Machamp, right? So he was giving me a Machoke. And I was giving him something crappy, like a Nidoran or like something, just so we could get it done. And the link cable came unplugged during the trade.
Oh, no.
And I got both. Hell no, I did not get anything back. I took that Machamp, and I was like, hell yeah.
You Team Rocket scum.
And I also remember when Pokemon cards, that's not really a fond memory, but when Pokemon cards got banned from my elementary school, and the teachers sent letters home to all the parents, and it said Pokémon's cards.
Pokémon's cards.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Go on.
I have this distinct memory of me playing a silver version. It was at my old house, and I was just underneath like a table, and I was like just on the first route.
Yep.
Like facing like Centrits and fucking Hoots.
And that just speaks to you. You just remember that moment. Yeah, it's weird. You have those weird memories that just stick with you forever.
Good times.
Mine, I think I already told this on the podcast, but where I had Pokemon Red, but the save like card whatever chip in it was broken, so you couldn't save the game. So every morning before kindergarten, I would start it up, start playing on the drive there and everything, and then I would leave it on while kindergarten went on, and I'd come back and my battery would be dying, and so I was like, okay, this is every day was a test for me to see how fast I can switch out the batteries so I can save my Charmander. It never happened. I would always burn it out and be like, okay, let's do it. It was like operating, and I just come back and be like, new game? Yeah, I'm like, no. So yeah, that was one fond memory. And then, funny you mentioned like the Pokemon thing. When Pokemon Go came out, there's like a church down the street from me, and I was driving. How all churches have like the billboard thing. Out in front when Pokemon Go was really big, it was like, make sure you Pokemon Go to Jesus or something like that. It was like something really dumb that it said like don't play Pokemon Go. Just go to church. Pokemon. Go to church. It said something. It was crazy. I love it. What about you, Taylor? What's your big story?
Are you ready? There's 2 fond memories I have. One is it's actually about our friend David here.
Yes.
He had a Pidgey.
He
went to his dad and asked how to spell Pidge.
Yes.
So his dad said P-I-G.
Yes. So I named my Pidgey Pig.
Shout out to David's dad. It's Pidge.
Yeah. Pig the Pidgey.
That was in Red and Blue. Same thing with Red and Blue, another memory. It actually involves him again. He gave me a seal. I really wanted a seal, and it would never listen to me. So I brought it against Misty. It was a whole 30 seal, and it just kept hurting itself. I'm like, why does it want to die?
So you just had a suicidal seal. That's a good band name.
Suicidal seal.
Suicidal seal.
Yeah.
And he kept killing himself, and then I put him in the computer.
Was that before you knew? Like
I didn't
the
know.
badges? Yeah.
I was like, oh god, what have I done? I just thought I like did something wrong.
Do you guys remember Pidgey's old model? Like his
Oh,
very
God.
first.
I do.
it's-
Oh
It
god.
looks like a bird.
Yeah, it's just a bird.
Yeah.
Even in yellow, it just looked like a bird.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I really liked Pidgeot.
He
Yeah.
was cool.
I liked him
He's
a lot.
very cool.
Would you leave him at some tree and never come back?
No, fuck.
Would you do him dirty?
Man.
I'll come back for you. Nah.
Nah, I can't. He's still there waiting. A skeletal poor Pidgeot. Speaking of that, what's your favorite episode of the show?
Let me tell
God.
you. You know that picture I use of that Marini that has the blushing face?
Yes.
Yep.
That's my favorite episode.
What's that episode about?
It's literally about it's actually mostly about Team Rocket in the new series, and it's a
Mhm.
spoiler alert for anyone who's listening to this
Mhm.
because this is a spoiler. Jesse and James, they're trying to capture Pokemon in the ocean.
What?
Yeah, no, in the ocean.
Yeah.
And they hook a Carvana and it escapes, and they're like, this sucks, right? So then James dresses up in a Corsola costume and goes underwater to try to find Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
So he goes in there, and Marini eat Corsola.
Oh.
So it latches onto his head, which is shaped like a Corsola, and it cracks open his
he
his
dies.
helmet and poisons him.
Oh.
And then
Jesus.
his face turns all
Damn dark.
purple, right? And he has blue hair,
Yeah.
which looks
okay,
like a
yeah.
Marini. And that one scene gets me every time when a Marini looks at him and his face looks like a Marini, and she just starts blushing like, "Senpai, you're here!"
Fuck. And that's her pokophilia.
And it's the funniest. It gets me. I just die laughing every time I see that
Yep.
scene.
What about you, David?
Mine is the one about Meowth.
The
Wait,
one where
how
he
he
learns
learns
to
to
talk.
talk?
The one where
Learns to talk.
he teaches how to learn to talk.
That's
That's
the
such a
best
good
episode.
episode.
It's so
Do you
good.
sell seashells by the seashore?
No.
Well, he's like, that was such a good episode.
Yeah, that
It was
was
like backstory of how Persian stole his girl or
We're in
whatever.
Gen
Yeah.
1, am I right? No.
It's
Wow.
so good. It's so good.
It's so good.
Everything is Gen 1, including my house.
What are you?
It's so good.
Like,
I don't think I have a favorite, but like one that
I
like
know.
sticks out to me was I think it's near the Pokemon League episodes in the Kanto League.
Mhm.
It's where Ash meets like Ricky, you know, like his rival.
Oh, yeah,
like
the other
with the
Pikachu.
other
Pikachu.
Sparky.
Yeah.
Whatever.
yeah,
Ricky,
with
man.
Sparky, and like all their like Pokeballs get taken, and like they have to like find like Team Rocket with like a truck, and like
Yep.
there's all these like different Pokeballs, and they're using different people's Pokemon.
yeah.
I like it.
That was a good episode. I always loved the design of Pokeballs.
Yeah,
And-
same.
In like the way they drew them in the original series was so.
It's like
You want to
Yeah, I
know
don't
what never clicked with me? In the series, weren't they like small and they like grew to like the size?
Yeah,
of
they
your
grew
hand?
to like the size of your
Yeah.
hand, and then you
It
threw
was
them.
like that big.
In some newer media, they just stay small. I never really understood that.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah, they always just like always look tiny. They never really like do that like growing.
what do you mean
thing
in
again.
newer media, like in
the
the
shows?
games, or
Like
the
in
shows,
some
or-
of the games, and I don't watch the show anymore, so I don't know
Yeah.
if it still does it. In some of the games, it's just like I never see that like thing anymore.
Well, I think it's
Oh.
because if you look at it, the like main character's proportions, like
Mhm.
the Pokeball's like the size of their palm.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I mean,
They've
that's
gotten
kind
way
of
smaller. Have you
they've gotten
noticed that?
smaller,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know, technology. With
Yeah,
the
maybe
time,
that's the tech.
Yeah.
you know.
I think my favorite episode would have to be. It's like like you said, Blake.
It's
I
not
only
the
have
one
a lot
about
of different
Quilladin.
ones.
No, sirree.
No, because he doesn't get the girl in the end that he deserves. But I really like. I had a bunch of VHS episodes that I love. I watched them like religiously. They're like my jam. One of them was the Primeape episode.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
It was great.
Yep.
Jelly donuts. Like, God, that's great.
Brock.
Um,
Why, Brock? Why?
Jelly donuts.
Another episode was the Gloom episode.
The one with Bulbasaur and Gloom.
Yeah, Gloom.
Oh, yeah.
And like Erica's gym goes on fire and stuff.
And
That was a
Ash
great
has
one.
to be a girl.
Yeah, Ash has to. Yeah, cross her eyes.
Satoshi.
Yeah,
Satoshi.
I also had what else? Oh, the SS Anne.
Yep.
But I only had the second half because for some reason they released them in different. So like I always came into like this capsized ship and I'm like, this is cool.
Where's Gyarados?
Love that, but it also featured the Pokemon Island one where like all the Pokemon are separated. That was great. Don't know why they separated them
and like they talk.
Yeah, and they
communicate.
That
was really cool though.
Yeah.
It was a really fun episode.
Yeah, it was different, right?
Like the Charmander tried to talk to the fake Charizard, and they're like, "Come on, you can do it."
I like how they had all different personalities. Like Bulbasaur's like the cool like one. Squirtle's just a punk. Yeah, Squirtle's a punk.
And Charmander's like a shy one. He's like, I don't.
Yeah, straight like that. Oh, what else? One of my favorites was the race with Rapidash. That was a great episode. And it's just episodes like that were really great because you got characters to. Everybody had their own section to shine in a sense, right? That's what I really like. Oh, they were put into situations that were really different. Also had the Grimer episode, which was kind of like a horror episode where they had to go to this city where the power plant was down.
And the Grimer were there.
Yeah, because Grimers were like, it was heavily polluted with Grimers, and so they had to like, investigate the power plant and everything. And it was like everything was always dark because the power would go up and like Grimers would like creep up. It was like their take on like kid horror, which was really cool and different.
So you're like, what is that? It's like purple slime just moving around.
Yeah. Grimer.
Do you like the Sabrina episode where they
they
make people?
I had that on VHS.
That was super
crazy.
cool.
There's like a little kid.
I love that episode because Haunter was like the most charismatic Pokemon ever. Just pulling his face apart and like.
I like Sabrina's father. He's like when Ash and the father interact, and he's like, "So you must know Sabrina really well." He's like, "This fucking idiot." I can't even fucking. Those are the episodes that like come to mind. I can't pick a favorite though.
Yeah,
that show is
those are all good episodes.
So good. Yeah.
Another one of my favorite episodes was definitely the Greninja versus Sceptile fight. That was so cool.
Never saw past the Orange League.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish when they remade Fire and Leaf Green, they put the Orange
that.
Islands and stuff.
Yeah.
Because the Sevi Islands was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's their version of being like, well, this is canon.
Yeah.
Here's this.
It just would have been cool.
It was cool.
They collected fucking little seashells as badges.
Yeah. But they I like the fact that you could find other Gen Pokemon on the island, which was really cool. Like you walk to an island to be a Larvitar, you're like, what? What is this doing here? Oh,
favorite. Oh, what you looked at?
Favorite?
Wait. Yes. What are you gonna ask? Because mine's a favorite regarding to the show.
Mine, I just made it up. So
okay. What's your favorite character from the anime?
Fuck! That was literally my question. Wow.
I wasn't sure what you were gonna ask.
Damn. And he beat you to the punch.
We all live, yeah.
I have a favorite character, and if it's not everyone's favorite character, they're wrong.
Is it Tracy?
Brock. No, it's Brock.
Brock is Tracy. Tracy.
Yeah, Brock's replacement.
I need to walk over there.
He had a marrow, bro.
I really like drawing Pokemon.
He had the worst Pokemon in the game, Moril, and I want to kick it in the face.
What was his name? The dude from Pokemon Snap.
Oh, the main character?
What was his name? Yeah.
Rip off Tracy.
Yeah, it was Tracy. It was pronounced Tracy.
So it's like a rip-off of a rip-off?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Rip-off!
Tracy. All right, we got Tracy.
Brock. It's Brock.
Brock.
What?
Brock's the best character.
Brock is literally Jelly Dough.
James is my favorite.
Yeah, okay.
He comes close.
Yeah,
he comes close.
James is
what
the
about
best.
Wobbuffet? No love for Wobbuffet.
if Gary wasn't such a fuckhead, I'd probably pick him.
If Gary didn't make me want to kick his teeth in.
I respect Gary way more now because
he had
of his
a convertible full of women at 13.
Yeah, but you know what the best part is?
Fucking bitches.
He's the only character with character development in that entire show. He actually becomes a good person.
That's true. That's true.
And he gets an Umbreon too, which is really cool.
Yeah, he's all like, I was wrong, Ash. I was a dickhead, so I'm just gonna become,
I'm gonna be a researcher like my grandpa.
Yeah, I'm gonna contribute to the world. What
he
are you
had
doing?
a cape and
but then he resurrects an Aerodactyl and shit goes down because he's a dumb fuck. That's all it comes down to.
Man, I just loved how he had a repertoire of a retinue, I should say, of bitches right behind him.
He had a harem. He always had a harem just chanting his name.
And convertible.
At 13 years old.
He had everything.
if I'm gonna cheat and say just Team Rocket are my favorite characters overall. They're so funny.
Yeah.
James is hilarious.
Yeah.
They were the people who were like, okay, like the writers, we know adults have to sometimes watch a show with their kids, so we'll have them say some jokes that kids won't get sometimes. Not like sexual jokes, but like more adult humor sometimes. And they're just so awesome. Plus, like their formula has persevered as long as Ashes had this entire time. And when I see like newer episodes, I'm always like, "Where's Team Rocket?" Because that's what I want to see.
Oh, they're very prominent in the new series.
They're the villains that can never do anything right, but every now and then they can be serious villains.
Yeah, and you love them. You always love them, despite them being like horrible people.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Oh man.
But yeah, Brock's the best.
Brock's up there. He's like my top.
Now I won't get wet as he puts a frying pan on his...
I'm going to use my frying pan as a drying pan.
That's why he's the best character.
Translated. A plus. Jelly donuts.
Yeah.
But
not even rice balls. They couldn't even just say rice balls.
Has everyone in this room listened to the album To Be a Master?
Yes.
It is the best.
Favorite song off the album?
The Team Rocket song.
Double Trouble?
Double Trouble.
Double Trouble.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
I'm always the man. I mean, Team Rocket is my favorite. I cosplayed Team Rocket.
Yeah.
So I gotta love them. But yeah, what was your favorite track?
Double Trouble.
That has to be
or
everyone's.
like To Be a Master.
To Be a Master.
Or
was
Viridian
good.
City. Oh, it's so
Wait, it wasn't the Misty track?
Fuck no, that's
Viridian City's a good one.
Misty
actually.
song. No, fuck that shit.
Viridian City's good.
Viridian City's a really good song.
Viridian City. That's it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Take that, jokes.
So, what about best spin-off anything? I'm gonna say game. I mean, those are the best. Like probably what.
Are we
comes to mind
including the
predominantly.
Coliseum games?
Oh, it is a spin-off.
It is a spin-off. Yeah.
Because Coliseum.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I mean, Coliseum was amazing. Snap. I loved Snap.
Actually, I'd probably have to say Gale of Darkness. XD. When they included Gen 4.
Okay.
That's probably.
I like Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah.
Pokemon Coliseum's trash, by the way.
Oh,
I just want to say that.
Wow.
That's my hot take.
I'm gonna say I'm actually kind of in the same boat.
Fighting words.
Despite the fact that I think Coliseum is like what I want from a Pokemon game, I just don't think they did it right.
It had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
It was trash.
I think it was just
trash.
right below being good, in my opinion. Yeah.
What makes it not just
the shadow mechanics are trash?
What makes
trash.
it not just less good than Stadium, and what makes it just
Listen,
trash?
you know what I want to do in Pokemon? Double battles all the time. Fuck double battles. Alright?
I thought it was cool because it's something. It took you out of your element. It's like, no, you're not going to do 1v1s. It's 2v2s all the time. I thought it was cool.
Trash.
I just don't like double battles and you're biased.
I didn't like the shadow Pokemon mechanic to be able to the process of catching a Pokemon, then you have to purify it.
The thing is, have you played XD? Because
I haven't.
They fixed it.
I heard that. I mean, I'm
fixed
sure it's
that.
better. Have you played XD?
No.
Yeah.
They fixed a lot of the problems with shadow mechanics. They made it so that shadow damage did not work very well on shadow Pokemon. They like dumbed down the damage on the moves too, and they actually had damage values. It was really and they fixed the purification process.
I think I also didn't like the selection of Pokemon you could get in Coliseum.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's one
really
thing I
weak.
actually didn't like is that there's a forced selection of shadows. So that's literally forcing you to pick between like 20 Pokemon.
I wouldn't mind like I said earlier, is like when you have so many Pokemon, you have to choose like a collective pool.
But,
I just didn't think they chose a good pool.
But what I will say is what XD did right is they added wild Pokemon.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Oh, that's
it was a select few, but you can catch wild Pokemon. Because what you had to do is you had to get these snacks, and then there were 3 locations where you leave the snacks out.
Yeah.
And then depending on how many snacks you leave, a rarer Pokemon might come by or like a normal Pokemon. But like
that's
you can get a Snorlax because Munchlax was one of the Pokemon.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You didn't evolve it.
My favorite Pokemon spinoff was Digimon World.
Yay!
Yay!
That's my favorite. I mean, you're all wrong. It's Hey You Pikachu.
No, I hate that game.
Me
it
too.
should be lit on fire and thrown in the dumpster.
I had it and I hated it.
I was like, Pikachu, and he just sit there. Pikachu! You son of a bitch! You turn around and look at me.
I hope for a new Switch, you Pikachu.
Yeah, that's
I
the
just
game.
want another Pokemon Stadium, just like mini games. The mini games are great.
Yeah, the mini games.
Yeah,
are what
and then
made
you just
that
do
game.
the little tourneys and
Yeah.
just beat things. Yeah.
Even without the turns, like a
Revolution
just like a
did
mini
that.
game.
That was Revolution.
You know what?
Yeah,
Revolution was good.
I just want the mini games. Give
One
me the
thing
mini games.
I think a
They're
lot of
fun.
people don't talk about Stadium. What made it so really good, like a little thing about it, was the announcer.
Yeah.
Oh, you know,
Yeah.
He was a hype
True.
man, essentially.
Yep.
He was just like, oh, and there he goes, like
Yeah.
going down.
Oh, and he's down.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Those little touches like that are what really bring that. Like, it makes you feel like, oh, okay, I'm in like a high stakes Pokemon battle.
Pokemon
here,
Stadium
so-
for Evo. Just saying.
Huh, for Evo.
Yeah.
Get out, Dragon Ball Fighters.
No. He needs to be.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yo,
if-
Trunks got it.
if
Future
CG
Trunks just got
Future
announced.
Trunks just
Yeah.
got announced.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah.
All right, so what was yours? Did you say yours?
Pokemon Stadium.
All right, Stadium.
Snap.
I haven't played it in a long time.
XD Gale of Darkness.
XD Gale of Darkness.
Because it's everything that was wrong with Coliseum got fixed.
Yeah.
And Lugia.
I don't
Shadow Lugia.
I don't think I have a favorite Pokemon spinoff off the top of my head. I can't think
Why'd
of
you
all
ask the
I guess
question?
Snap, I guess.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be about me.
Oh yeah, Pokemon Snap.
I played that game so
Straight
many
trash.
times.
I hate it.
Wow, you don't like Pokemon Snap?
Nah, super
mean,
overrated.
I'm a real Pokemon fan.
If I were to
Super
play it
overrated.
today,
Gen
it
Runner.
probably wouldn't be the best.
I mean,
if
they
were to
have
play
it on the
today.
Wii U because you can use the pad as the camera
Oh, that's
now.
cool.
Listen, it's great as a
Trash.
kid.
It's trash.
I don't think it holds up now.
Trash.
Wow.
He's just straight.
Motherfucker.
Damn,
Wow.
damn.
Right
Get out of
there.
my house. This isn't Taylor. You don't even live here. Oh.
I'm trying to think of all the Pokemon spin-off. Oh, Mystery Dungeon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love Mystery Dungeon.
Mystery Dungeon
Yeah.
games are really
Yeah,
good.
I want to play. I just want to pick up the newest one, like the most recent one.
The newest one with the Megas is really good. I played it.
I remember playing the first one and I loved it, but I never finished it. And I don't know
Don't
why.
play the Gen 5 one. The Gen 5 one is really short and it's not fun.
Yeah, I heard that. It's not
The one after it, where they added Gen 6 Pokemon, is really fun.
Huh. It was. I liked it because it had a
And you
compelling
can
story.
pick who you want to be, and you could be a Chespin and then evolve to a Quilladin, then never evolve.
That's it. That's me.
Sold.
I'm fucking in. Anything where I can play as a Quilladin.
What do
But-
you think about Pokemon Go?
No.
Now I'm gonna ask. First of all, when it was huge, when it was like the biggest thing on the planet,
Mhm.
did you play it? Did you enjoy it? And then what made you stop playing it?
All right. We'll start with Blake because I already know the
Because we're all
answer.
angry
I never
at him for
played
saying
it.
Pokesnap sucks.
You never played it?
I never played it because I only had an iPod at the time.
Oh, okay.
And that was my excuse. I was like, I'll play when there's Gen 2 Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. It's just not appealing. It was
Yeah.
never appealing to me.
Yeah.
I'd rather just play the regular Pokemon games.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
played it.
Mhm.
I super enjoyed it at the time.
Yeah.
What made me stop playing was I didn't have enough time to play it.
Yeah.
I was always working, and I didn't have Wi-Fi, and I didn't have like a data plan at the time where I worked, so I wasn't able to play at work like between calls or whatever.
Yeah.
So what happened was everybody was doing gym battles and getting like really strong Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't feel compelled anymore to get Pokemon because I'd be like, look, I got this like shithead, and then someone's like, yeah, my
That's my favorite
shithead's better.
Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got that same shithead. He's like CP 800 or whatever, and I'm
Uh-huh.
like, oh cool. I mean, I can have fun, I guess. Or maybe I can't. Fuck me.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Uh-huh.
So, and gym battles were completely out of my realm. I just couldn't do it because everybody was just after the first week, nobody was on the same level. You had the elitists.
That's true.
Just
Yeah. I mean, good thing for you that gym battles were the worst part of that game and still are. So
yeah.
you didn't really miss much.
It wasn't the yeah. To be fair, gym battles weren't really the appeal of that game for me. It was
Yeah.
walk around, catch Pokemon, and it was cool. I love walking around with you guys and catching Pokemon. That was fun.
Yeah.
You know, being like, oh, and we witnessed a car accident.
We did witness a car
We were
accident.
literally
We were- yeah, we
10
were-
feet from a car
Yeah,
accident.
it was
Yeah.
one night we were walking. We had D&D that night. We were like, all right, we're gonna go out and do some Pokemon Go. So we go out and start walking on the main road over there.
Yep.
And then we're just like have our phones out, and then just right next to us, like we're right on the sidewalk, right next to us. We were like, right in front of us. Car just rear ends somebody,
Yep.
and we're just like, oh,
Were they trying to catch a Pokemon?
that's what I think.
Possible, yeah.
Or they were looking at us, be like, look at this. They're probably like little idiots playing
Yeah.
Pokemon. Oh,
Because it was like, that's when it was really huge. And I think there was a Hypno near us or something.
yeah.
Yes.
No, it was a Jinx.
There's a jinx,
Jinx?
because there's
No.
always a jinx at the shell.
Yeah, it's a Shell Station,
For some
yeah.
reason, there was a Jinx at the gas station.
Yeah.
Sketchy.
Yeah, it might have been just Pokemon.
Sketchy or
Yeah.
Really good play.
That's why I left. I just got left behind.
Yeah.
What do you Taylor?
I play it from time to time because they added Gen 2, and Gen 2 is my favorite gen.
Yeah.
So I wait. I'll turn it on when I'm home, or I go for walks every day anyway, or jogs and runs, and I'll just turn it on and be like, oh hey, look at all this stuff going on. I'll just catch stuff, but I don't really. Yeah, as you said, the gym battles are really bad.
Yeah. The combat in that game's awful.
It should be turn based. It'd be like I click a button to attack and then whatever. Let them do whatever. Let them body slam me into oblivion because I'm not CP 10,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
I played when it was huge, and then I stopped playing. I played during the summer of last year, all summer, and then I stopped playing and just picked it up again this summer, like a month ago. It's a fun game to play if you're already out walking.
Yeah.
You know, it gives you something to do. And I still have that, like, oh, there's new stuff. I want to catch all of them. I haven't done a gym battle once since I got back because they're awful.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just... It's a little bit of fun when you have free time.
The community was fun about it. That's what I really liked.
Yeah.
I liked coming... One time I was walking with some friends, and, like, this old guy came up to us and was like, oh, you're doing the Pokémon thing, right? And we're like, oh, yeah. And he's like, can you, like, tell me, like, why is it so big? So, like, we just talked to this dude about, like, what we do in Pokemon Go. And he was like... That is pretty cool. Like, he's like, oh, thank you for letting me know. And I'm like, that's awesome, right?
Like everyone's parents were playing it. Like everyone was playing that game like last summer. And I was stopped multiple times by people who were like, hey, you playing Pokemon Go? Or like, hey, what do you? I remember me and Taylor, and I don't remember who else were at.
We had a group.
Yeah, we had a group. We're at Rick.
Yes.
We're out in college on the campus. And we're just walking around playing, and then like another group of people who were playing it just came and started like touring us around the campus where all the Pokemon were.
Nice.
Like it was just cool.
Yeah, and you have like those trolls that are like, oh look, there's a Dratini over here. There's no Dratini.
That's a mob.
Like 28 days later style.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it was fun. I turn it on occasionally.
It's fun.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
More questions.
So.
What is your... Oh, I'm sorry.
You go first.
All right,
you go
I
first.
have a question.
All right.
Dude,
What is your favorite Pokemon type or type combination?
Ooh.
I'm always the person who tries to make a team of like
Steel.
one or two types. Steel and Rock are like my two types. And I always try and make a team out of it until I realize that there's just too many weaknesses to have a team of one type.
Yeah.
This doesn't work.
I keep telling you, Sandstorm teams are a thing.
Yeah,
Fire.
just fire.
No, I
thought he was just yelling at
No. If you have a mono fire team, you're done.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I was
it's a
asking.
wrap.
So fire and what? Do you usually do?
Psychic.
Yeah?
Fire
I
and
like
Psychic.
those two.
Oh, I do like Psychic.
It's good team comp.
Man, I mean, my favorite type...
Which is funny because most of the combinations already exist. Like Fire Psychic already exists. And two different Pokemon, Victini and Delphox.
It's a shame Delphox is just the worst.
Is trash. Yes.
Trash.
Victini's not trash.
I like, ground types.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think. Gorilla. I like Gorilla types. I like ground types. Man, yeah, that's really tough. I like poison. Actually.
Me too.
I really
What's your
like
favorite poison?
Nidoking. Or Nidoran. The Nidoran line kind of thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright. Nidoran
The
male.
Nido family.
Yeah, Nidoking is my
Yeah,
favorite.
male or
but-
female, or you're just assuming their gender.
I like the Nido. The Nido type.
The royal family of Nido.
Yeah. What about you, Taylor?
Poison Dark.
Poison Dark.
I like poison types. I love dark types. My favorite Elite Four was Karen in Gen 2 because she had dark type. I was like, how many dark types are there? And then she had like Houndoom and Murkrow. I was like, those are cool Pokemon. Then she had Gengar. I'm like, that's not a dark type. Whatever. That's still cool.
Yeah, and then it uses Curse, and then you're like, you're fucked.
And then you're like,
Yeah.
wow, why is my health draining 1/3 every turn? I don't get it.
You dick.
Damn.
But yeah, dark types are really cool. Poison types are really
Dragon
cool.
types are awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah.
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 Mhm.
Pseudos are pretty cool.
I like fighting type too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fighting types are cool.
I mean, I love Gen 1's Dojo. Like that was always
Yeah.
an odd. All right, who'd you
Iconic.
choose? Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan?
Lee.
Lee.
Chan.
Chan.
I always chose Chan.
Wow, we're split 2-2.
Uh,
Yeah.
all right,
Listen.
now we gotta fight.
Listen.
His legs extend.
There was no
like-
physical special split in Gen 1.
Listen,
So you
I like-
just
I like-
Hitmonchan was trash.
I like having fun.
Trash.
I thought he
I like
thought he
sticking
looked
things in
cooler.
the face with extended
I like
legs.
Jackie Chan.
Hi, Bruce Lee.
Oh shit!
Damn. Well, Hitmontop.
I
A
like
cool
it.
addition.
Yeah.
I like him on top a lot. I think it was really cool that they thought of putting a third one in.
What about
And a
the-
baby form in that same gen.
But who is top? If Chan's Jackie Chan
Listen,
leads
let me
Bruce Lee,
tell you a
who's top?
story.
Who is that? Yeah.
Hitmon Top is just the embodiment of every capoeira dancer in the world.
Oh.
Huh.
Because that is his battle style is capoeira.
Fun fact. Number 3.
Yes.
And he spins like a top, and that's why his name is Top.
Yeah, he is pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't he have a mini game in Pokemon Stadium too?
Never played it.
I
want
think
to.
he
though.
did. I think he
I
did.
need an N64.
Oh, you never played Pokemon Stadium 2?
That was the game
What
I
is
played.
wrong with
That
you?
was great. The
I
golden
never had an
cartridge.
N64.
Man,
That's surprising, actually.
that is surprising.
I still
I'm
have it,
working
and
on
it
it.
still works.
Working
Hey, I'll let you play it sometime.
I'm waiting for my pre-order.
Yeah. Come on, Amazon.
What was gonna be your question?
All right, so I don't know about Taylor, but I know myself, Kobe, and David all fell off of the Pokemon train at one point.
Mhm.
Why? And what made you come back?
Honestly, just
David.
different games. Like
Different
I
games?
like I
Well,
played.
when'd you fall off?
I fell off the gen before Black and White.
So,
I
you
only
played
really
Gen
missed
4?
it. Yeah, I played Gen 4.
Diamond Pearl.
Did you like Gen 4?
Yeah, Gen 4 was good.
I felt Gen 4 was very controversial.
I mean, it wasn't my
Yeah.
favorite.
That's what.
but-
It was my least favorite.
Yeah.
I hated Gen
That's the
4.
general consensus.
That's when Lucario came out, and then everyone was like,
Yeah.
at Nintendo was like, Lucario's the best things in Slice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shut up.
I never understood the hype of Lucario.
I don't understand it.
But
He's
but
a
yeah,
dog.
I played 4, and then I never got Black and White. Well, I had Black. I played it like for 2 hours and stopped.
Gen 5 is very good.
I don't know what it was. I started getting into like more bigger games. And I just wasn't into it. I don't know, man.
Like Gen 5 story was just like,
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Is Gen 5 the story where they were like, Pokemon have rights?
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, it was.
pretty much.
Freaking hippies. Team hippie. That's what
Hey,
they
not
were.
for nothing, Getsis, the leader of Team Plasma that was there,
He was like, get this.
he was the coolest villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His team was like I have remade his team multiple times just because of how cool it is.
I fell off after Gen 3. After Emerald.
After Emerald.
Namely. I loved Emerald. I played Emerald a lot. I really enjoyed that game. I had no interest in Diamond and Pearl. Nothing gripped me about it. I don't know why. Maybe,
You didn't like Piplup
No.
Maybe
Maybe that's
was
why.
the
I
man.
didn't like any of the
or
starters.
Chimchar?
What? Turtwig was the man.
They
Yeah,
all
Turtwig
looked
He became
boring to
the
me at
world
time.
turtle.
Turtwig was like my favorite starter.
Yeah.
Besides Blastoise, Squirtle.
None of them. I don't
The
know.
world turtle.
Yeah.
Something about it. It was maybe I don't know if it was like the marketing. I mean, Pokémania was like dying down by then.
Yeah.
Do you think that, like around Gen like 4, 5-ish, is when they really needed to start innovating?
Yeah, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
And that's when
They did.
yeah,
With Black
That's
and
when
White.
they were
Black and
like,
White 2 and
okay,
all that.
people are falling off our franchise.
Yeah.
it was X and Y is what really revitalized it.
Yep.
I agree.
That's when I got back into it.
And they released like the 2DS as well. So
Yeah,
it was,
I
like,
bought a 2DS
very
with it.
accessible.
Seeing
Yeah.
the release of X and Y in Japan when I was there was just the most mind-blowing experience.
Yeah.
It was just
Well, you were there when it was happening.
I was
That's
there the day
right.
it came out, and it
Wow.
was insane.
Ah.
Every person in that country was there. Just like I swear to God, like every person was there. Like there were 10-year-old kids, like 80-year-old grandmas, just like with their DSs
Give me that, you little
outside.
shit.
They just bought the game and then stood outside and played it and didn't move. And it was just there was people just lining the building just with their DSs out,
That's
just
insane.
chilling.
That's
it was,
awesome.
It was crazy.
That's Japan for you.
Yeah.
It was insane. Trying to get home was impossible because the trains were too packed. It was awesome.
Oh man,
Mhm.
that's pretty crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, you fell. Why did you fall off?
Well, I played I didn't have Emerald, but I played so much of Ruby. I loved it. Gen
Yeah.
3's so good. But I don't know, like it's not so much I didn't have interest, it was like I didn't have a DS and it was just like you had a DS. But like I didn't I was just like,
The
do I
formula-
really want to pay money? I mean, I wouldn't pay money.
See-
I was a kid, you know, but
The reason why I like it's the same reason why I don't play Pokemon right now is that the formula is great. I mean, people love the formula of the battle system and everything about it. It's just I had enough of it, right? Like I went through 3 gens of it, and I was like, okay, I mean, there are other games I can play right now that can just give me something different, something that aren't just like different Pokemon, right? Like, especially by that point, it was like Fight the Elite Four. You know, they had little story twists every now and again, but I didn't really care about them. They weren't big enough for me. I mean, Pokemon games stories aren't that compelling, right? Like, they're not the magnum opus of, they're not the Uncharted. They're not that.
They're not meant to be either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no,
they're not meant to be. Which is why when I got bored of the gameplay, there was nothing left for me. So
Fair enough.
I was very easily able to detach myself.
I guess that's the same for me. Like, I would go back and I'd play like Kingdom Hearts 2, or I'd play like, you know, like you were saying, like an Uncharted or Mass Effect, or like.
I like continuity. This is why I don't play a lot of Nintendo games. Just because I liked continuity. Like the way what Gen 2 had it, where you had Giovanni's son as the rival.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I really wish Gen 3 did more with that. And that would have like been something for me to hold on to as the gens went on.
Do you think a continuous villain across Pokemon generations would help it?
I would love that, personally.
Like if they kept Giovanni and his son and all them as villains, and like the company
that
they
would
had,
keep
just
me
like
in.
on every
I
generation.
could see that for a Pokemon Switch, like the return of
That'd be
Team
awesome.
Rocket.
That would be
awesome.
That would be amazing.
Like I mean, it is implied that Giovanni like killed himself in
Is it really?
in the Celebi event in Heart Gold Soul Silver.
Damn.
What?
Yeah, after his son was like, "I hate you, Dad. You're the worst." Like, it was implied that he hurt him, that he killed himself.
Well, like you battle him because and then like he went off screen, then hear like a splash, and then like he's
what the fuck?
It's implied.
It's implied
he
that
actually just went in his jacuzzi for a nice relaxing dip. My son hates me, but this jacuzzi is so nice.
Like that could like.
Yeah.
Be like, what the fuck?
I would get back into it there.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I would be so on board.
Don't get too hyped because it's not gonna happen.
No.
It'd be cool though.
Yeah, it's just, man, that's what really kills it for me is the lack of story. Because I like the gameplay, but not enough to keep purchasing more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I don't agree because I keep buying them, but
yeah, that's
I will never stop buying them.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't like Snap. Fuck you.
You don't have an opinion.
his name's Todd Snap.
If the new game's
Todd
awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Todd
What
Snap.
a jerk.
I
don't like that game either now.
Todd Snap. I mean, Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, fuck you. I don't like Pokemon. I'm out. Fuck you guys.
Puns.
Yeah, if the new Pokemon games like looks really good, I'm gonna buy it like day one. The Switch one, yeah.
I mean, I'm buying it.
I think I think I will get the Switch Pokemon game regardless, unless it's like really trash.
Yeah.
Like it's like what's that Pokemon game where like you flip like the DS, you like flip
Pokemon Dash or something?
Pokemon Dash or whatever. If it's like that, I'd be like, wow, people are going to be mad. But
what if it's like Pokemon Conquest? You have any
what's the
idea what that game
RTS?
is?
Wasn't that like the Fire Emblem style?
Yeah.
Man, I want to play that.
That exists?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
they're all like
Japanese.
like
Ranger
Japanese
was really good
warlords.
too. I liked Ranger too.
Oh yeah, Ranger. No, that's right.
Huh.
You draw circles around.
Draw circles real quick.
Imagine like Dynasty Warrior heroes commanding Pokemon in Fire Emblem style battles. And like Lu Bu being like, "Go Pikachu," or like I don't know what his Pokemon
It's
is.
like,
really
"Go
weird.
Skitty, you will bathe in the blood of your foes today."
Do you think they will make Pokemon Warriors? I'm not even kidding.
I mean,
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
that would be really
Wait,
easy.
what would
to
they
do.
fight?
Each other. They'd just be like
Other
hordes
Pokemon?
of like Geodude or something like
Oh, I
that.
guess they could,
I can
yeah.
easily see that happening.
Hordes of
Yeah.
And then the
like
boss is like a golem who does like earthquakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
Easy.
you know how like in Pokemon games, like all the villains have like those kinds of Pokemon, like
Exactly.
the bad,
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
yeah,
villain
the
looking
Poochyena.
It would be those.
Yeah.
It'd be Golbat
and the
Yeah.
lovable
Oh, shit.
Zubat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd
And
be
the
great.
Greyman.
I can picture it. I can picture it now. Yeah,
Cool.
they had Hyrule. They come out Fire Emblem Warriors.
They
You
had
have to have
Berserk.
Pokemon. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you just play as like whatever Pokemon you want and just fight things.
They can make any Nintendo series into a Warriors game.
Yeah, that's true.
And think about
Except
it, they
maybe
have
Metroid.
802
No, they
options.
could totally do Metroid.
There's not a wide enough cast of characters.
Doesn't have
No.
to be. Look
I
at
don't
look
think
at
they'd do like a Mario Warriors. It seems like
Yeah,
it'd
you
be too
can.
violent.
I mean, they are coming out with Mario XCOM. I guess
Yeah.
anything's possible.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Fighting Goomba.
Yeah, they could do it.
Fucking laser gun.
Look at the actual Dynasty Warriors series. There's like 3 types of enemies.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Gundam Warriors.
Yeah, Mario will just be Goombas and Koopas and
Yeah.
Stupas, you know.
If there is a I mean, this is super off topic. If there is a Mario Warriors, do you think Waluigi would be playable?
Waluigi.
He
better.
yeah.
Him and Wario better be.
Yeah, he better be. Waluigi.
Oh, you would have to fight like King
Why?
Bama. He'd be like one of the first bosses.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway. Anyway, what were we talking about?
We were talking about Pokemon. And then
Spin-offs?
Waluigi.
No.
Yes.
Before spin-offs. Oh, why we fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we already explored that enough.
I exploit you.
Yeah, I think.
If we're wrapping it up, I want to end on this last question.
Okay, yeah. Let's
All right,
wrap it up.
You guys ready?
Here we go.
All right. What is the worst Pokemon that you love? Like, it's like, oh, I fucking hate this Pokemon, but I love it.
Oh,
Like worst as in like bad in the game, like stat wise, or just the
like
worst.
the general
Just a
consensus is
Pokemon
that
that's
people
like,
hate
wow,
him.
that's a stupid Pokemon, but I love it so much.
Bidoof.
I love you for saying that.
Bidoof. Okay.
Bidoof.
Why do you like Bidoof?
Bidoof.
He's stupid and he's like really good HM.
I'm just
He's a great
Well, the
slave.
Barrelist is evolved form, but
Oh,
Bidoof, like you just see him in Gen 4, you just want to fucking.
all right.
Does Slowpoke count?
I don't know.
I mean,
I love Slowpoke, but he's
Are you kind of like
pretty
Team
stupid.
Rocket, where you want to sell him for goods? His
Oh, his
tail.
do you want to
tail?
cut his tail off and be
Oh,
Team
man.
Rocket?
Nah,
Hey,
he's
fucking
just,
asshole.
he's just my
Fuck
boy.
you.
He's just my boy.
If he's your boy,
I just want him, but he's stupid.
What are you, Taylor?
a Zoomeril. You know why?
Zoomeril.
Because I hate Moril so much. I hate it.
I had a VHS of the Zoomeril.
And then a
It's like in a
Zoomeril,
circus.
I'm like, I love you because you're a cool concept, but your pre-evolution makes me literally want to kick you in the teeth right
Where's
now.
a diaper? I
It's
mean,
an egg.
Quilladin?
It's an egg with
I
ears.
feel that's cheap. That's not
That's
interesting to
cheap.
say.
That's your favorite. It can't be.
Yeah, it can't be your favorite. Oh,
I have to go on like trying to think of like Zigzagoon.
There you go.
Would you just look up Pokemon? You first thing you saw
No,
was
I just thought of
Zigzagoon?
like the first useless Pokemon I could think of, and
Damn.
don't kill yourself. And it was Zigzagoon.
Look, I'm not Giovanni, okay?
Oh man. Oh, I like Beedrill. Wouldn't be one. Beedrill. People like
Beedrill's
Beedrill.
cool.
Yeah, people like Beedrill.
He got
Even
a
as a
mega
mega
form.
form.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's cool.
I mean, he has massive needles that he stabs.
Oh, I know Psyduck.
Psyduck? Okay.
Wait, people don't hate Psyduck though.
You can hate Psyduck.
Psy.
Psy.
Come on, who hates Psyduck? Let's be real.
I hate
Terrorist.
everyone.
I hate him because he's not psychic type.
Yeah,
That's why I
that's
hate
true.
him.
That's true.
That's
False
stupid.
advertisement.
Yeah. It's like his whole
But he learns
character.
confusion
Yeah,
and psychic
yeah.
and can learn psychic.
Why? Like, it doesn't make sense. It still makes sense.
You think it'd be Psychic Duck, right?
Psychic
Yes,
Duck
psychic,
type.
psychic
Man,
duck type.
duck type is the best type. That's why Pelipper is so strong.
True. It's true.
All right, I was just sifting through.
Maybe the ice cream cone Pokemon.
Oh,
Or
that's
the
the
garbage.
worst.
Kefki.
Yeah, maybe Kefki.
Kefka from Final Fantasy VI.
He'd be the best Pokemon.
Trubbish Garbodor.
Garbodor. Garbodor's just a
Guzzlord.
No, Guzzlord's the best Pokemon with the best name. I mean, its name in German is like Schling King.
Schling King.
All right.
That's literally the best
I think we'll
Pokemon.
wrap it up on Schling King. All right. So thank you for joining us on this Pokemon journey that we've been on.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, resident Pokemon Master
Sure.
Taylor. Do you want to plug anything, or you're good?
What?
Or no?
I don't plug anyone.
Fair enough.
The only thing I plug is Rotom into some other appliance to get a new form.
Damn.
Perfect.
Quick, favorite Rotom form.
Lawnmower.
I like the washing machine one.
I like washing machine.
Rotom.
Actually, no, the oven. I have to go with the oven
Okay.
because he just reminds me of the brave little toaster.
No one has love for the lawnmower?
No. That form's trash.
I mean, I name all my Rotom Heats Brave Little
Brave
because it's
little.
the brave little toaster.
Brave little Rotom. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us in the Pokemon episode, and hope you
Yes.
guys have a great week. And we'll see you next week.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.
Hope that made sense.